Hey, Vederian, hope you're well, man.
How you doing?
Good. So just how does it feel without your head coach there the last couple of days? Like, how does that manifest itself, and who's kind of trying to fill a void, I guess?
Mhm. Yeah, it's definitely a different feel with Coach B not being here, not being around, not seeing him and hearing him at practice. But it's they said it's a next man up mentality. People go down, and that we have supposed the next man supposed to come up and you know produce the exact same way that we would expect, the first guy to produce. So, Coach McDonald has came in and he's been leading the team meetings and making sure that, we all know where we're supposed to be for practice and knowing the rest of the day and giving us wise words before we go out for practice because this week of preparation is huge. This is a huge game for us. We've been preparing for this game all season, back in the summer, back in the spring. This is a very good game for everyone. So it's definitely different with Coach B not being there, but we're preparing the same way as if he was.
And I know you're an offensive lineman, probably don't spend too much time with George McDonald, but I know he's part of kind of a leadership council. He's part of the offense as well. Coach B puts him in charge. Like, how did you feel about that? And what do you think he brings to the team in Coach B's absence?
Yeah, I love Coach McDonald. I love Coach McDonald, and he's prepared in every way. Coach McDonald's prepared in every way. I feel like he's meant to do this, and he has the full support of everybody, in the building. Um, we know that behind him, he's going to lead us in the correct direction. So our faith hasn't changed at all with Coach McDonald stepping up into that role, and we're just very excited to be able to have somebody help lead us into Iowa this weekend.
Thanks, V.
Hey V, OC talked a lot about how he's kind of taken on a bigger leadership role with Coach B being out this week. Have you kind of taken on that same kind of role or put more on yourself in that category?
Yeah, I've just been trying to make sure that me and all the other captains, and especially just the upperclassmen in general, because it's going to take all of us upperclassmen. We've just been trying to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable more than anything, and continue to hold the young guys accountable. Just with everything we do, whether it's just little false starts in practice, just making sure we hold each other accountable there, and just making sure that we hold each other accountable in the film room and everything like that. So I think that with Coach B being out, this is definitely the time for us players to step up in that role. We need more players as leaders for us to get to a place that we haven't gone before. So definitely something that me and everyone else has done.
So what does that exactly look like in terms of your communication with the other players, or I guess even the other coaches, maybe, as much as that has an influence on it as well?
It looks like basically just making sure that I am on top of everything that I have to do with myself, regarding the team. So making sure that I'm in the correct places, making sure I'm doing my job correctly, making sure I'm setting a great example for all the other guys, and then also just trying to make sure that like me and all the upperclassmen just hold the younger guys accountable, and making sure that they're doing the exact same things that coach wants us to do. Just making sure that those guys execute, the way that we know they're capable of, because we have a bunch of great young players. So we're just all trying to be, leaders, as players, so that we could just make sure that we live up to our full potential. Because, we have to make sure that everybody's their best, because it's going to take everybody, to go to Iowa and come out with victory.
Thanks, V. Appreciate it.
Hey, Vederian, you mentioned wanting to come out of Iowa with a victory. It's something that you haven't done yet in your career at Illinois. How important would it be for you to kind of, break that streak that Iowa has against the Illini?
Yeah, it's the most important. This is the most important game this week for me personally, and for all the other guys that I came into this university with. We haven't won against those guys since we've been here, and we kind of want to start turning the tide. Iowa's a great football program. They have a lot of history. Their guys play very hard. They play very physical, and they're gonna come out and give us a great fight. They're gonna defend their home, their senior day, and we're just preparing this week to come out there and put on a great show and perform without Coach B being there. We know that he's going to be watching us, so we just want to make Coach B proud and give a great fight.
and he's obviously got a lot of history with Iowa, having played there, started his coaching career there. He really wanted to make it about the team, and the fact that he won't be there kind of really does that. But what does that kind of add to it, wanting to maybe go there and get a win for him while he's away from the team this week?
I think that us doing that, it will, it will say about how much Coach B has, prepared us long before this game even came up. I would think that, Coach B has been, coaching us very hard from the moment, winter training started, from the moment, he sees football 1-on-1, all throughout spring ball, summer training, just all throughout all that time. He's been coaching us and giving us pointers on how to be a great team. And I think that, us being able to, pull a win out under these circumstances will prove that, Coach B is a fantastic coach. He's done a great job coaching us, long before this even happened.
Thanks, V.
Hey, Vederian. Seems like Coach Miller kind of shuffled the deck a little bit on the offensive line. You went through different, iterations of starters. Do you feel like that was a turning point for you guys, and do you feel like you're locked in now heading into these two last games?
Yeah, I feel like we're just, the O-line is kind of getting into a nice stride. We have a lot of great pieces on the O-line, and we try to find a way to fit everybody in, in ways that will make us successful. So I just think that now as a unit that I feel like now we're rolling, and we're just getting stronger going nearing the end of the season.
You've been known as a running team, but it seems like the pass pro has gotten better in the last few weeks. What do you think's been the key to that?
Just honing in on our technique throughout, the weeks of practice. That's probably the biggest thing. Coach Miller is, just constantly on us about, making sure that we do the little things correctly in our pass pro, because that's what leads to, success. And I think that, just with all the, reps we do in Indy, and then, the one-on-one reps, he's still coaching us. And even when we go, against our scout team guys, just trying to make sure that we focus on the little things in our technique that will transition over to the game. I think that is what has helped us the most.
Thanks, Vederian.
Hey, Vederian, the last two times you guys have been out on the road, you beat two ranked teams, obviously a third chance here coming up. But what is it about the mindset, or what's it take to be able to go on the road and do that?
Yeah, going on the road and playing in the Big Ten is, one of the most difficult things to do. And to win at that is, the hardest thing to do. And I think that, that all starts during the weeks of practice. During the beginning of the week of practice, whenever, the very first Sunday right after the last game, you go in and you start to, lock in on that team, and, just watching film and, going out and practice every morning and practicing your butt off every morning and going through and just making sure that you do all the little things right. I think that builds that confidence that gives you that, that extra, motivation to feel, because when you're prepared, you feel like you can do anything. And I think that the preparation that we have throughout the week of practice is what gives us that confidence to be able to go into, another team's home field and be able to come out with a victory.
I know so much of our lives have felt like they've gone back to normal the last 5 or 6 months, or some variation of it. But to have Coach B test positive and maybe hit home a little bit again, what was that like to have that, this kind of persisting thing back in the inner circle of Illinois football?
Yeah, it definitely caught us off guard when we found out about it. But, it's just, like I said, it's just a next man mentality. It's kind of what we have here. It's kind of what we go by. It's the next man up. And, like I said before, we know Coach McDonald is going to lead us in the correct direction. He's made for this. And we're just very excited to be able to go out this weekend and still play and be able to put on a show and be able to make Coach B proud of his football team.
Thanks, V. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.